Welcome to Basic Brewing Video. I'm James Spencer.
I'm Steve Wilkes.
This is a Steve show, a Steve recipe, or
many of those.
a Steve experiment.
Well, it turned into one, didn't it?
You haven't. What do you got here?
Let me explain.
Explain the experiment.
Let me explain the experiment. Here's what happened.
Okay.
So a customer, he calls me up. He says, "I want to brew your little smoky pale ale. Here's the recipe."
Shameless plug.
Which I won't. Yeah. So at any rate, he orders the little smoky pale ale, all grain, and I assumed that he wanted me to mill the grain. That's what you get when you assume, because he didn't want me to mill the grain. So here I had all this grain milled, and I thought, what am I going to do? So I decided I'd just brew it myself. So I brewed the beer while I was watching Monday Night Football.
The plot deepens or thickens.
What is it? So, it both deepens and thickens. So I'm watching the football game, I'm brewing the beer, I'm at the store, I'm on the computer, I'm out, I'm doing all this stuff. And I got too small a fermenter out. And everything was a mess. I just was too consumed with the NFL. So I decided to experiment. So what I ended up doing was a split batch. And what I did was I did half of the batch of wort, took half the wort, and I fermented it on Napoleon. Imperial Napoleon.
B64.
B64.
Which is a Belgian yeast.
B64.
Bingo!
And I did the other half on A24. A24.
Clear your cards.
That's right.
This is a coverall.
And to be truthful about it, these are both brand new packs, but those were ones I had around for a while. They're getting a little old. And I thought, 2.5 gallon batch, pitch them in.
Perfect. And
just kind of see what character I get from both of those. And I thought it would be interesting, since this isn't a quite typical pale ale, because there's a little smoked malt in it. Mm-hmm. So I brewed the beer. Let me tell you what's in it, what the grain bill is.
Yes.
And I don't have any B-roll. James always has B-roll. So if you'll either mime it, or you can just get some old Buster Keaton B-roll of him in a car. It's the recipe is 7.75 pounds of Maris Otter, 5-gallon batch, 8 ounces of Beechwood smoked malt, 6 ounces of 120 crystal malt, 6 ounces of 20 Levabon Munich malt or dark Munich malt. There's an ounce of Challenger hops, an ounce of Target hops, and then these two yeasts in this particular batch.
When did you put the hops in?
Oh, sorry. The hops go in. An ounce of Challenger goes in at 60 minutes. A half an ounce of Target goes in at 30 minutes, and a half an ounce of Target goes in at 5 minutes.
There you go.
Flame out, cool down, pitch your yeast.
Surfs up.
Yep, surfs up. And I'm a very traditional brewer. I'm a very 60-minute, 30-minute, 15-minute, or to flame out brewer. That's how I brew almost all my beers.
And they come out good.
And they come out good. So the fun part here is to see, obviously the interesting thing will be to see how these two yeasts play in this malt bill.
So we don't know which is, or you know which
I know,
is which.
but you don't know. And it'll be interesting to see what you think just about the beer in general, but also the differences between these two yeasts and what they bring to the party.
You bet.
So
now you've got an opener.
And you've got an opener. My opener is a little gift that my son gave me. It's the best knife I've ever had. It's got a beer opener here. See that? And that's got a little screwdriver on there.
Oh.
And then if you need to skin an elk, you can do that too. So it's really cool. I love this thing. I carry it around with me all the time.
Our basic brewing bottle opener is just open bottles.
Yeah, but you can't skin an elk with it.
No, well, you could, but it'd take a long
time. So anyway.
It's a race.
Ta-da. Ta-da. Okay.
All right. So I'll pour these.
Okay, you pour those
here.
And I'll pour these.
Now you make really good smoky beers. Now is this the recipe that you had at your end of the year?
No, this
thingy?
is not.
Oh.
That was an 8.5% double bock.
Woo-hoo.
I should have brought some of that tonight.
That's why it was so good.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is actually a 5% beer.
Now this is the one I poured. That's the one you poured. And this is.
I poured both of these?
No.
No. Okay, I get you. So, been a long day.
I think I got the Steve Wilkes cookie in that one.
Oh, sorry. Did I pour it all? No, I didn't pour the cookie. But I may have mixed it up. They look about the same color.
Yeah, see the one with the the one with the yeast is a little paler.
Okay.
Oh, see that's just the right amount of smoke, in my opinion.
Yeah, I don't like a big.
You're reserved on the amount of smoke that you use in these beers, which is good.
Okay. It's nice.
Ooh. They're both tasty. They're similar. Have you tasted these side by side before?
Yes.
Oh, okay. You get an edge on me. It's all on me,
It's all on you.
and I got nothing.
Can you tell the difference?
Well, let me taste it again. They both got, along with that nice smoky character, which is not overpowering. There's a nice level of bitterness in there. Mm-hmm. They're both really good. I'm going to say they're real close. This one, to me, the one that you poured, I get more kind of a fruity character on the nose. So I'm going to step out there and say that's the Belgian.
And you're right, sir.
Oh!
Yep.
All right.
That's the Napoleon. I think it's a lot more saison-y. Mm-hmm. Now, to be tonight, they are not as far apart flavor-wise as they were to me about 10 days ago was the last time I tried these things. So they either the Napoleon one has settled down a little bit, or my taste buds are a little dull.
Well, you've been sick all year.
I've been sick all year. I'm not sure, but they don't. The last time I tried a couple of these, you could really tell them apart.
Yeah, this one is a lot more clean. Mm-hmm. And this one is a little more funky. Like I say, there's more floral characteristics on the nose.
This is a lot cleaner.
But this, lets the beer, just the base beer, shine through. This one adds. This is like beer plus.
Yeah.
With the Belgian yeast.
You have a preference?
Well, they're both really good. I kind of like the Belgian, just because it's got that extra.
I think I kind of do too.
And we have to say that Steve sells this yeast in his store, and and Imperial is also a sponsor of the audio podcast, although they didn't provide the yeast for this. So.
No, and
Full disclosure.
Yeah, to be sure. So really, the genesis of this whole show wasn't, to promote the yeast. It was just a fun experiment that just happened.
And you just happened to have it on hand?
Because I was watching a football game and didn't keep track of what I was doing. But it was really interesting to try, what should have been what is a clean traditional ale in a traditional ale malt bill.
And the smoke really pairs well with both styles.
It really does. And I like both beers quite well. I mean, I like either beer with either, the same beer with either yeast.
Yeah.
So it's a fun thing to do. And if you're a home brewer and you're worried about, I don't have the exact yeast that the recipe called for, don't worry, relax, have a home brew. Don't worry, relax, make a home brew.
Yeah, there you go.
Would be the thing. These are very different yeasts. Neither one of them really are the yeast that I had chosen for this beer. The yeast that I would have had you put in this beer if you were to purchase it is either Nottingham, if it's a dry yeast, or House in Imperial's yeast.
English yeast.
English yeast.
Yeah.
It's meant to be a little bit of a smoked English pale ale. So neither of those would have been the yeast that I would have chosen, but both of them made a beautiful beer.
Yeah.
So I think that sometimes we do, as homebrewers, get a little bit too down in the weeds, worried about the exact ingredient, the exact yeast, the exact hop, the exact crystal malt. You can always substitute. It may not be the exact same beer. but very often you'll end up with a surprise and I won't say a better beer, but a beer that you will like just as much,
Yeah.
and maybe actually better beer.
Yeah.
So that's the fun part of being a home brewer, I think. It's something that we can do that commercial brewers can't.
Yeah. Or there's less risk.
Yeah, exactly. They can do it,
For
but
us to do it.
costs us about $30.
Yeah.
Costs them a lot.
Yeah, 5 gallons of beer is like, if it didn't come out, it's still drinkable, but you know.
Exactly.
If you got 30 barrels, that's another thing.
That's your house. Cheers.
What a great experiment.
Yeah.
Cheers, everybody. Happy brewing.
Happy brewing.
Come and visit us online. At basicbrewing.com, you can find archive lists of our audio and video podcasts on home brewing. You can also find our DVDs and our brewer's logbook, where you can track and log up to 50 batches of beer. If you're in Fayetteville, Arkansas, stop by Steve's Brew Shop or find him online at stevesbrewshop.com.
Hello, Dolly. And semaphore.